We just rolled into Mine Creek Battlefield.
Just south of Pleasanton, Kansas, just off of US 69 and 52 that goes west. It's only a half mile off the interstate.
We just got here. We're going to walk around. We're going to read all this information. We'll get back to you and tell you what happened here. We know a little bit about it. It happened in 1864. General Sterling Price was defeated here, but we don't know the details of it, but we'll see what we can find out. No.
Price's Raid, one of the largest cavalry battles of the Civil War, was fought in these fields around Mine Creek. August of 1964, Confederate Major General Sterling Price received orders to invade Missouri. He was to bring Missouri into the Confederacy at the same time to weaken Abraham Lincoln's chance of re-election. Battle of Mine Creek. Upon these rolling prairies across Mine Creek occurred the largest Civil War battle in Kansas, also one of the largest cavalry battles of the Civil War. Nearly 8,000 Confederate soldiers clashed with 2,500 Union troops. Battle lasted less than 1 hour. Many Confederates were captured. More than 600 were killed and wounded. Union casualty numbered only 120. This decisive victory contributed to the defeat of 1964 Confederate invasion of Missouri and Kansas. According to the kiosk, Union troops was lined up here on top of the ridge. Confederate troops was down below the creek in the draws. And there's more kiosks down there, and they was on the low ground. If they had cannons shooting downhill, they'd get more range.
Very easy to visualize the battle that went on here. We've done the trail. You can visualize it. They have these kiosks all along the way that tell you that's where we started. Up at the center, there's our truck and Jeep. Following General Sterling Price's retreat, the Confederate effort west of the Mississippi River was minimal. Mine Creek was one of the last significant engagements fought in the West. And we're standing right here. It is a beautiful day. All right, I think, Dave, we ready to head to Fort Scott?
Yep, I found a kiosk down there about the 6 homes in the neighborhood turned into hospitals and nursing the wounded.
All right, I think we're gonna head back to the truck and the Jeep. We're heading to Fort Scott, Kansas next. We've arrived. As you can see, we're popped up. We are near Fort Scott, Kansas, in a little city park called Gun Park. We are actually paying for electricity tonight. We do have that view. It's going to get cold tonight. It was cold last night. And we think it's going to rain tomorrow. So we're playing it safe. We're getting electricity tonight. We're about ready to eat lunch. And then we're going to decide. We have several things we want to do. So we're going to make an itinerary. And then we'll bring you along for the ride. Then we're going to go over to the Fort Scott National Historical Site. While we're sitting here just kind of unwinding from our trip, when we drove south out of Lewisburg, we didn't hook up the Jeep. I was driving it and Dave was driving the truck, and Dave was in front of me, and I wasn't driving real fast and I wasn't driving real slow, but I noticed that this red van just kept following me, like he wouldn't pass me. I was going slow enough on the interstate that he should have passed me, you know, and he just kept staying behind me, telling me really close, to the point where I kind of noticed it and I sped up to catch up to Dave, and we happen to have two-way radios. So I called Dave and I was like, hey, I was going to go by myself off the interstate and run into Casey's and get something to eat for breakfast. And I just told Dave that, hey, there's something weird going on with this red van behind me. Why don't you take that exit too, and let's see what he does. So Dave took the exit. I took the exit. The purple van took the exit, followed me. So we went into Casey's. The purple van came into Casey's. So Dave led all the way around the backside of Casey's, and he radioed me, and he was like, let's park over there by that cattle hauler. So Dave got out of the way. He didn't know, the red van didn't know I was with Dave. And then I zipped in and parked real close behind the cattle hauler where he couldn't see me, and he drove right behind me so that he could find out where I was. And then I think he kind of realized that I was with Dave, because Dave got out of the truck, and then Dave went into Casey's, and those people were in Casey's, and Dave said that he could just tell by looking at them that they were up to no good. So the moral of the story is just pay attention. This is the first time since we've been traveling. We've been traveling for years. This is the first time that something sketchy like this has kind of just made the hair on my neck stand up like something wasn't right. So just the moral of the story is to pay attention to those little feelings. I forgot to tell you that the red van had a car hauling trailer. It was pulling it. So I just didn't know if he was going to try to cause an accident. I didn't know if he was going to follow me. And while I was in Casey's or anybody, they were going to load my Jeep up. I might have been paranoid, but something about that wasn't right. So now let's continue on with what's next on the video. Scott National Historical Site. We have been here. This is probably our third time being here. This is what we know about it. Okay, at least what I know about it. Dave probably knows more. This is a fort that was a fort in a long line of forts that separated the Western Plains Indians from civilization. And I think it was open until about 1857. And then as westward migration went farther west, civilians took this over, turned some of these buildings into hotels. And then in 1861, the federal government took it back over, because that's when the Nebraska-Kansas Act said that Kansas, the people could elect if they wanted the Kansas to be free or slave state. So federal troops had to come back in here to restore safety among the people. So we're going to go in to the visitor center, and then we're going to come back out and get the dog, and then we'll take a dog for a walk around. We love this place. Dog has joined us. This is the grounds of Fort Scott Historical Site. That is the visitor center. The dog went here first. This is the guardhouse. So we'll go in and take a look at it. That's what their room looked like. Guard duty. They would have prisoners lay.
The story of Fort Scott is the story of America growing up. When the fort was established in 1842, the nation was still young and confined largely to the area east of the Mississippi River. Yet within a few years, Fort Scott's soldiers became involved in events that would lead to tremendous spurts of growth and expansion. As the nation developed, tensions over slavery led to the conflict and the turmoil of bleeding Kansas and the Civil War. Fort Scott takes you through these years of crisis and beyond to the time when the United States emerged as a united transcontinental nation.
Well, I've got Dave going back. And we've been to Fort Scott Historical Site. This is our third time. And this is the first time that we knew that building right there on the map. It's called the Infantry Barracks. That's really the visitor center. When you walk in, that building says the visitor center, but all that is really there is a gift shop and bathrooms and a map. The prime, you want to go in there. Movie museum, artifacts, history. It was amazing. We can't go in together because we have the dog. So I sent Dave back in there. He's got to see that. And if you all are here, if you only have a little bit of time, you go into that building. The first time that we've been in where the quartermaster lives.
And this fort was within, well, Battle of Fort Wilson Creek was 120 miles away. Then Mine Creek battle was up the road about 50, 60 miles. And the men and the stores for that battles was always came from here, up and down what they call US 69, the military road.
We're back at Gun Park. We're camped right over that hill, but this amazing stone building is here. I just wanted to show you. Isn't that beautiful? Somebody is very talented. They got this. They're starting on the pillars. Okay, I'm gonna go up. We're about ready to sit down and eat. I just wanted to show you this view. It's beautiful. We rarely pay for electricity for camping, but when we do, we like for it to have a pretty view. We're having tacos. Dave is making some bratwurst. What was your favorite today, Dave?
Going back to the Fort Scott National Historical Site.
We've been to Fort Scott National Historic Site. That's the third time. And every time we go, we just learn something new. And now we got to go back. We might go back tomorrow because we never knew that the infantry barracks was the real visitor center. They have an amazing movie in there and little things set up around explaining everything that happened. I love history like that. I guess you do too.
Yep.
And we also did the Mine Creek Battlefield Historic Site.
Yeah, that was up at Pleasanton.
So we are wrapping up today. We're not wrapping up this movie. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning. We are camping at Gun Creek Park. No, Gun Park. We're just outside of Fort Scott. We're paying $20 a night for electricity here just because we think it's going to get cold. And last night it got pretty cold where we were. And so rather than just go through all of our little green tanks with the buddy heater and worry about the truck camper battery when our camper heater's on, we're just going to pay $20 here and it's beautiful. Okay, there's water everywhere. The sun is setting.
Yep. And that's the name of the river. It runs behind the lake.
Marmaton River?
Yeah.
Marmaton River runs behind. This park is huge. The stone, I'm going to show video and pictures of the stone shelter. It's over there, and someone did amazing artwork around it.
This place was established in 1910. I forgot the guy's name.
Gunn. Mr. Gunn.
Mr. Gunn? Okay.
Yeah. We don't know his real name, but it's Mr. Gunn. All right. I think this is going to be it for the night. We are going to eat our supper. For me, I'm just going to be sitting by the fire reading my Kindle, taking it easy. See what we come up with to do tomorrow. We're at Gun Park, just outside of Fort Scott, Kansas. There's no running water. They've turned it off. Bathrooms are closed. But we did have electricity, and it was nice and warm in there. We brought our electric little heater that we use in the camper, and it just makes a big difference. We don't have all that condensation on the plastic windows like we did when we were using the propane. We have a buddy heater. Even though we tried having a couple of the windows vented, there gets a point where that is counterproductive to trying to keep the inside warm. So we were really happy staying here last night. It was quiet. We heard maybe one train from way out in the distance somewhere. People do drive through here, so it's so weird because we can see them. We can see them down at the bottom road drive in, and then they have to make a big loop over by where we were yesterday, and then they come out where the camper is. So they just like drive in, drive out, pitch black, no way you can see anything. We were talking about it. Dave was like, "Oh, Tree, you remember what it's like when we were teenagers?" No, Dave, I don't. We didn't start dating until we were in our 20s. So then he was like, "Well, you remember just driving around town just to have something to do?" We come down off the hill where we were earlier when we entered the park, and it says RV parking to the left. And so then you turn to the left and there's nothing but roads. So the first time yesterday when we got here, we went left, and that goes up that hill, up to the shelters, around, and if you can see over there, that arched shelter is over there. So then we came back around and we did this road on the right, and this is the right road. There are numerous shelters here. There's a ultimate frisbee golf course that goes through the park and close to the campers section. There are 2 lakes, one over by the stone shelter and then the one over by where we're camped. And then there's also the Maramathon River on the other side. We were over there yesterday. There's a big playground right there. I'll show that closer when we get to it. I think we've decided that we are, here in a little bit, we'll put an end to this video and then we'll start a new video for our day. I think this will be a series like our Great Lakes trip that we did over the summer, just because I don't want the videos to get too long. People won't watch it, and I just want to keep it fresh and something new in every video, because we're planning on seeing some fun things today. But I'll tell you that on our intro of our new video. Here's the big playground. There's the little playground. I'm going to take you into the shelter. They have all these stone shelters. Some of them are modern shelters, like that one up there. They have shelters that are open, like the stone shelter. Most of them are enclosed that have these fireplaces. People have to rent them or reserve them. I don't know if you have to pay money for them. There is something reserved for today. I did stick my head in here. Look how neat this is. If it's raining later on tonight and this building is open, we may come down here. How neat. Okay, now we're going out and we are going to do where the little campground is. So you come up this hill. Here's the lakes. It's pretty. Still pretty frosty this morning, but it is pretty. You come to this little board. I think payment here just got changed to $20. It used to be $10. Okay, now it's 20. You get your little, whatever you are, RV out of there. Put your money in. You put it in there. It says these 2 sites right here are 50 amp. When I was looking up this campground review, I think it was on iOverlander, it said it's kind of deceiving because all of these spots come 2. Okay, so this is not 1 spot. This is 2 spots. So although there's like 7 or 8 pulling gravel spots, it's actually for 2 people. There's the bathroom. It is closed. All the other sites up here are for 30 amp. The first two are for 50. There's plenty of trash cans all around. Take you up here to our spot. We happen to pick the spot that the only one that has a fire ring. So we were out here last night, had a fire going. That's how I like to cook, actually. I cook over the fire all the time. I'd rather not cook in the camper, just because it's easier to cook outside, and that's what I'm used to doing. We'll do a video probably this winter when we can't do anything else and just give you the backstory, how we started out van life camping, how we ended up with this rig and that little Jeep that we love. Keep you going here. And this area right over here is for tent camping. Okay, that is your tour of Gun Park Campground. We loved it last night. It was nice and quiet. We slept good last night too. Back in the camper, getting ready to leave for the day, put an end to this video. Sorry that I got my Colorado hat on again. I wanted to wear my Alaska hat today, but I think I left it at home. Dave is with me now. Dave, I've already given him a tour of the campground. I went to shelter number 3, and it's open, and 2 fireplaces on each end. And if we get rained out tonight, can't sit outside, we may go down there and have a fire. Okay. If that door's open, I'm not sure if it is. I walked down and dropped our money into the deposit box and gave him a tour. Just kind of talked a little bit about our night. What did you think about the electric heat?
I love that electric heater because it got down to 27 degrees last night. I ran a separate cord through our camper to the electric post out there, plugged it into a different outlet plug from what our truck is plugged into. It kept it good, at least above 60 degrees all night long.
Yeah.
We had to toy with the temperature.
We were talking earlier when we first got up. I've already told them about how the electric heat, we don't have the condensation on the plastic windows. When it gets down that cold, we do drop out every curtain that's in here to try to keep the cold on the other side. And people have been commenting. We had another cold video at some point, and someone said get some reflectics to put on the windows. So there's a window right back here and our door window, but it has a curtain that I think probably helps, and a kitchen window. So we may stop at Ace Hardware here in Fort Scott and see if they have any of that.
Like and subscribe if you want to.
We'll see you on the road.